Hi folks, Dom Lawson here from Metal Hammer magazine, bringing you, kind of mumbling at lunchtime about a heavy metal record that you may or may not want to buy with your money. Today I'm stretching the the definition of metal somewhat, and because that's how I roll when I'm a bit jet lagged. But anyway, I'm going to talk to you. Basically, part of what I want to do with this whole ludicrous shambles, he said, readjusting his laptop thing, is to cover albums that people actually kind of want me to review as well as stuff that I want to review myself, and basically anything that fits within Metal Hammer's world, as we like to say. We don't actually own a world, obviously. We're not planetary landlords in any way. But there are, obviously the spectrum of stuff that we cover in Metal Hammer does go right from the most extreme grindcore right up to this bollocks, frankly. And this is the new album from Evanescence. And look, it's backwards, which actually, in a strange way, improves it. That's a really bad album cover, isn't it? And don't worry, there'll be more negative remarks coming along in a minute. This is the new Evanescence album, and it's undeniably within our world. They're I would call it pop metal in much the same way that Linkin Park are pop metal. I'm not for a minute suggesting that Evanescence are as fucking abysmal as Linkin Park, but it's certainly in that kind of that general ballpark, if you will. They couldn't even be bothered to give this a title. It's just called Evanescence. And I suppose it's just kind of a comeback. It's been a while since they've had an album out, but I won't pretend that I've been following their career with great interest, because I really haven't. When the first record came out, or the first one that we heard, that most people knew anyway, don't even know if that was their debut. Probably wasn't. They kind of decried by many as a kind of either manufactured or like a Christian metal band or something. There were lots of mud was slung at them, and some of it stuck. But for me, the thing I took exception to is the fact that they were like a rather overproduced and soulless version of what was going on in the European metal scene with bands like Lacuna Coil and Within Temptation and stuff like that. And it is, I suppose, in a way, it is a very similar thing to those bands, and as much as I'm reluctant to criticize the notion of female fronted bands, it is there are a lot of those kind of bands, and it's that kind of wafty faux goth kind of thing that it appeals to, I guess, adolescent males who. This is the closest they're ever going to come to touching a woman, is listening to an Evanescence record. Don't worry, I was there myself once, and also kind of not real goths, really. The people who kind of like wearing flappy dresses and wearing too much eyeliner, but don't actually know anything about the goth scene and find it all a little bit scary. Well, you can listen to Evanescence, and it's not going to offend your mum. But anyway, obviously I'm being needlessly cynical about the whole thing. I mean, they're a huge band in many ways, and they've been enormously successful. So they make people happy. So how can that be a bad thing? How wonderful. But anyway, I sat and listened to this twice now, and well, what can I say? It's bland, isn't it? Really, it's bland music for people who don't really like music very much. The tunes are quite nice. The lyrics are all very kind of woo-hoo, and moving in inverted commas. And my heart is broken. Oh, really? That's a shame. And it's kind of there's a song on it called "Sick." I didn't realise that. Let's check out the lyrics of that one. That's probably about stabbing people and that, isn't it? Let's have a look. Or about nausea. Maybe she had a hangover. Sick of it all, sick of it all. Oh, it's a hardcore tune. Right, okay. We will not follow. Sick of it all, sick of it all. They don't understand how sick we are of this bottomless pit of lies behind closed eyes. I don't imagine they, whoever they might be, give much of a toss, frankly. But anyway, Evanescence. It's not heavy is what it is, and it's one of those things where it's kind of got a metal guitar tone, but it's so processed and overproduced that really it's got no bite to it, no balls. It's very much kind of aimed at the radio and music telly, which I hasten to add I never watch. I have no interest in watching videos on the telly. I never have had. I find the whole thing odious and insulting, unless they're funny. Wait till you see the new Megadeth video. That's going to make you roar with laughter unless you're a complete fool. But But this, I don't know. I just can't. There's no edge to this. It's like a fucking amorphous blob of nothing, really, and I don't really see the point of it. It's not awful. I wouldn't say the Evanescence album is shit, because it's not shit. It's, you know, it's got some catchy tunes on it. I'm reliably informed by the kind of people that use the word banger with a straight face that there's a couple of bangers on it. But it's, you know, really, if this is the kind of thing that you think's exciting music in 2011, then really Metal Hammer is not the magazine for you. I'll tell you that much. And I wonder if you're, you know, if you really listen to much music at all, if you think that this is exciting. I just can't. I don't really get it. You know, it's kind of, it's not overwrought in an impressive way. It's just kind of tame, you know. And I listen, you know, I'd rather listen to Nightwish, because although Nightwish are ludicrous, at least they have the, you know, the balls to be ludicrous and to go the whole hog. That it's not kind of half-hearted ludicrous, which is what this is. It's kind of, oh, we're bombastic and a little bit gothy, and oh, I bet the video she's wearing an enormous frock in it, and it's all a bit kind of third-rate Meatloaf, you know. And don't know, it's just, it's hard to have an opinion on it at all, really, which makes you wonder how I've been waffling on for 6 minutes now, doesn't it, really? But there you go, Evanescence. By Evanescence, it's the kind of thing that people who don't like metal will find kind of alright. And then they'll say, oh yeah, you like stuff like that, don't you? You know, that Evanescence and that Linkin Park. And then you'll turn around and say, no, fuck off, I like Cannibal Corpse, go fuck yourself. At least that's what I'd say. Well, in my head, not actually in real life. I'd be much more polite than that. So, oh yeah, no, they're alright, I quite like them. Because I'm a hypocrite. There you go. Anyway, yeah, don't buy it. Loads of people are going to buy the Evanescence album. Really, don't bother. You'll hear it in supermarkets and elevators and shops and stuff at Christmas, because it's, you know, it's not going to offend anybody. And really, if it's not going to offend anybody, then I kind of fail to see the point of it, to be honest with you. Anyway, there you go. It's time for me to go, because I need more coffee. And somebody wanted a negative review. Well, there you go. That's about as negative as I can be bothered to be at this point. Evanescence is quite nice in a bad way. Good day to you, folks. Cheers.